Okay, a couple things I'm gonna say before we take questions. Obviously very excited about the win. We were not perfect. Had some situations that I felt like we could have been a lot better in. We gave up too much yardage in the run game. There's no question about that. We ended up giving up 6 explosive plays, which, those plays are going to happen from time to time, but those are things that we got to limit. We had a pass thrown overhead for 43 yards. We got to eliminate those plays in the game. And we gave up a run of 29 yards and 1 of 12. We got to eliminate those explosive plays. I think our guys really competed hard. As I said, it's not perfect, but it's a good starting place. And we got some things that we got to get better this week. There's no question about that. And we've already started addressing some of those things, and that's why you review the film. That's why you get back on the practice field and you get some things squared away, and hopefully we're going to be better. I think our players will understand a little bit better what they need to do, and we're excited about that, and looking forward to moving on. And with that, I'll start taking questions.
What do you think of the young guys who got to play on Saturday, specifically Bumper Pool?
Well, there was a bunch of them, and some of them, I think Bumper came in and did a good job. It was a growing experience for him. I think he had about 39 plays, which was a good number. I didn't know that he'd play that many, when the game started. But hey, when your numbers call, you got to be ready. And we started 2 ends. You go back and look and see how much football they've played at Arkansas, and that's Mike Taylor and Gabe Richardson. Go back and look and see how much football they've played at Arkansas, and I'm telling you, those guys are young too. And what we expect is to, learn the things that we need to learn, improve the things that we need to improve, and that's the way we're going to help this football team get better. And we got to get better every single day. And then when we get it down to being fine-tuned, practice reps and practice has to be taken seriously, and we got to get better on every single rep. And that's the thing that we push with them. If you're going out there and you're taking reps, then you need to get better. So young guys played well, and there was other young guys all over the field, but that's what's exciting.
Coach, I want to ask you about Colorado State. Looks like they throw and catch as good as anybody. Maybe can you maybe speak to their personnel, what they're trying to do schematically? Are they similar somewhat to Eastern Illinois in the way they try to throw it?
No, but that doesn't matter. They've got a great scheme. I've got tremendous respect for Coach Bobo. Competed against him. Obviously, back when we were competing together in the SEC, it's changed a little bit. They've gone to a little bit of spread stuff. They'll do that. They got 2 quarterbacks. Obviously, and I'd say backup. He was their starter, or they thought he was going to be their starter. Got injured. He's a little over 5.5 months out of ACL surgery. Got a chance to see him a little bit in this game. So he's got 2 quarterbacks, and I guarantee you this: quarterbacks that are coached by Mike Bobo are going to be ready to play. They understand the game. He puts a lot of trust in those guys. But they understand the game plan, and they know, and Coach Bobo knows what he wants to do to move the football. So it'll be a challenge. They got good receivers. And too many to mention, but they've got several good receivers. But guess what? We're going to play against good receivers every week, and I'm not saying that to say anything about their receivers, because they do have 3 or 4 quality receivers that or you could play anywhere in the country. There's no question about that.
Back to the Saturday, did you get the kind of pressure you wanted? And then the second part, the back end of your defense, how do you think they played and heading into this week?
Well, our pressure wasn't what it needed to be, and for reasons I'm not going to talk about, not going to go there, but you get into a game and we didn't sell the house, we didn't do that, but at the same time, you do that, when you feel like you need to, and there's going to be some times when we need to do that. So we'll grow, because again, we're talking about a group of young men. Some of them have played very, very little football that are growing with this scheme. And as a football coach, it's my job to give them things that they can do, And I will assure you that we're going to continue to grow with this scheme as our players grow. And let me reassure you that our players are giving us great effort. They're trying to do everything that we ask them to do. And it's a good feeling walking on the field with these young men because I know they're going to come to work every day.
Coach, you were back in the box. How'd you feel comfortability-wise there?
Oh, good. You know, it's like I said, it's a different atmosphere. You know, I'm able to, I feel like, do my job, you know, best there because I got, you know, guys that I trust on the field that can handle what needs to be handled on the field. And you know, let me say this as we talk about the game. You know, you're gonna realize I'm gonna be totally honest with you. You know, there were a couple things that I was a little late adjusting to, and I'm gonna be better next week myself. I'm asking our players to be better, and I'm gonna be better too. So, you know, it wasn't anything major, but it was things that I could have done earlier to help in some of that situation.
The KJ Carter Samuels, you know, he's completing almost 60% of his passes. He's averaging over 350 a game. What is he showing you? I guess he had a school record against Hawaii. What is he showing you?
Well, he's a big-time quarterback. Like I said, and I think they have two quarterbacks that can play, throw the football well. They've been well coached, and as I mentioned, you know, I've never seen a quarterback that Coach Bobo coached that was not prepared to play. And you know, they're going to be on top of the game. He puts a lot of stuff on them in terms of, you know, being able to run the offense, you know, in terms of being able to check to the right run that he wants run and all those things. And he's got a long history of that. And I think these two quarterbacks can do the things that he wants them to do.
I want to ask you about what you thought of Dre Greenlaw's quarter, 10 tackles in the quarter, and then the turnover forcing. I know you went in with a goal. A lot of them look to be second guys and some raking there. Can you talk about that?
No, you know, those are things that everybody, you know, every defensive staff in the country works on. What allows you to have success is when your players buy into it. And, you know, our players have done that. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to go out and knock 6 balls loose every game, okay? But we're going to work on it. We're going to continue to work on it. It's going to be a part of what we do every single day. You know, other than tackling, you know, and there's some other things that are important, but other than tackling, it's probably the second most emphasis that we put on any technique, and we usually work it twice a week. And Dre, I thought he should have had 15 tackles rather than 10 in the first quarter. No, he played extremely well for us, and you know, I said back in the spring, you know, talked about, you know, both of those starting linebackers. They're both quality players. There's no question about that. And, you know, when you got guys that have played, you're talking about two guys that have played a lot of football at Arkansas. And I said this back in the spring. Before I got here, they both were well coached. There's no question about that in terms of technique and fundamentals. And hopefully I've helped him get better. But, you know, that's Dre, and he's an outstanding athlete. It means a lot to him, and I was excited about the way he played the first quarter.
Does the altitude in Fort Collins affect how much you substitute?
You know, and I don't take this lightly, but, you know, we're going to substitute anyway, okay? And we got to try to keep them as fresh as we possibly can. And, you know, that's going to be important. And certainly it's a little different. There's no doubt about it. You know, we got to make sure our guys are hydrating all week long, and particularly, you know, starting today, you know, and we can't wait to Wednesday to start doing that. It's got to be an all week long deal.
Coach, I don't know how much football you got to watch this weekend besides your own games, but there were a ton of targeting calls. Will you guys place any more emphasis on, you know?
No, we've done that, and I think that's a good question, and I'm quick to answer it, you know. And I think that for safety reasons, and look, you don't ever want to see anybody get an injury. And everything that we can do, and we take a lot of pride in trying to teach a physical football game, but also a safe football game, and that emphasis has been there since day one.
The respect, I guess, you have for Coach Bobo, everything he's going through health-wise, to see him back with his team, just as you prepare to face them this week.
I think, you know, you know, in this fraternity, you know, there's some really good guys, and maybe there's some guys that aren't so good I'm not going to mention, but I don't know who they are, so don't worry about that. But my point is, you know, you want to see everybody, you know, have an opportunity to do the things that they love to do. And, again, like I said, he's a great competitor. He's a great football coach, and I know for a fact he's a great man.
Just a quick thing about the run game. Chad said there was a few misalignments that maybe contributed to some of Eastern Illinois' runs. Could you talk about that and maybe what you see from Colorado State's run game?
Well, yeah, we had some misalignments, but that's on me. That's coaching, and that's things that we got to take care of, and we will take care of those. And if it's a misalignment, then it's easy to fix. If it's a player that's not good enough, then it's a little bit tougher to fix. So, we think we can fix, those issues that we have. We're going to see a totally different run game. They'll run some zone read stuff. I don't anticipate them running the quarterback a lot. We're going to see some big personnel. In the first game, they got a little bit behind and didn't do as much big personnel as I anticipated. And when I'm talking about big personnel, I'm talking about tight end, 2 backs. We're going to see a tight end, 2 back. We may see 2 tight ends, 2 backs, and we've already seen that. So it's going to be a little bit more downhill run. It's going to be a big part of their running game. To be quite honest with you, it's big boy football. You gotta be behind your patch because they're going to be behind their patch, trying to knock you out of the hole so the backs can run. And we'll see a little bit of some of the same runs that we saw last week, but, anticipate seeing a lot more downhill runs. Thank you very much.